okay. This meeting is being recorded by the Parish Council. The fire exits for anyone that's new. You've got one there, you can go out this door and follow it out the front door. Members are reminded of their responsibilities under the Code of Conduct, Standing Orders and the 7 Principles of Public Life: selfishness, integrity, objectivity, accountability, openness, honesty and leadership. Recording is permitted during the public meeting, but not before it starts or after it is formally closed. Please stop recording when the meeting ends. Who's recording, please? Thank you. Right, okay, so we are in state of standing orders and we'll move to apologies. Have we had apologies?
No.
Okay, no apologies. Declarations of interest. Have we got any declarations of interest? Anyone? No. Okay. Move to the public forum. Have we got anyone in the public forum who wants to speak, please? Carry on.
Thank you. I won't stand for that news. Colour quickie, really, all one thing. I can't find it anywhere where it shows that approval has been given to submit planning application to knock down the bog road. Can't find it anywhere. I also can't find anywhere where the £4,000 has gone to an agent to submit the planning application.
Sophie?
It was the December meeting. Unfortunately, the minutes haven't been agreed, but I have made the amendments requested, so they should be there for approval tonight, and then hopefully you'll be able to have a look at that. But yeah, it was our December meeting where it was agreed.
Is there any other questions? Carry on.
Yeah, if I could just, the telephone box, which is up near the church, which I believe the parish council took over responsibility for it, and you've got a defibrillator in there. The box is in quite a bad state of repair and it's going pink. I just wondered if there was any money set aside to repaint it and make it, restore it back to how it should look.
Sophie, apparently you know about this?
Quite a while ago, probably 2 years ago now, there was a local painter and decorator who offered to redecorate it and paint it for us. I believe that never happened, did it, Jan? If I remember right.
I don't think so. You had a contact, didn't you, who knew the colour paint, because it's special. You can't just paint it red, can you? You have to have it.
Yeah, it has to be a particular colour because it's a listed asset. But yeah, we can always put that on the agenda to approach different painters and decorators to.
It's got some broken glass in the windows as well.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions? Carry on, please.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. At the annual meeting, which is about 10 days ago, I inquired about having a look at the electricity in the Northern Chapel, to which the clerk said health and safety. Could you give me an explanation as to why the lady who's been running the event at the Southern Chapel was given permission to go into the code for the door and permitted to store items in the Northern Chapel, if it's an health and safety issue?
We'll get back to you on that.
The only thing that I know, she had a set of keys for both chapels, and there was some large display boards that were in the South Chapel which needed moving out, and I presume that those are the items that she put into the North Chapel.
Right.
So, who gave her permission to go into the North Chapel?
She had a set of keys, so she had keys for both.
Yeah, but the North Chapel's a combination code. Is it a combination code with the key then, is it?
I don't know. I don't know the combination for it, so I can't give them the combination for it, so I don't know.
We'll get back to you on that one.
Can I just carry on?
Yes.
The same annual meeting, Councillor Sophie Hutchinson said that they was only using the lights in the building and that there was no issue in the inspection regarding the lights. But if you go into the building and press the light switch, it doesn't work the lights. There is a cable running from the light switch onto a 13 amp or 3-pin plug into a metal surface mounted 3-pin socket, which goes upwards by a trunk into an old food box, which from what I can see on it standing on the floor is blanked off. And in the pulpit is some fuses and the switch that I believe has come out of that box. Is that box got a residual isolator in the other building?
I wouldn't know off the top of my head, Paul. This will have to be looked into clearly.
If when the last council meeting, Councillor Isabel Hutchinson said, if you're going to let the building out, and you've got to spend the £1,700 having the work done, if the work hasn't been done as said at the annual meeting, how come the building got let out?
As I say, Paul, we'll get back to you with comments accordingly. Isabel, did you want to say anything?
Well, the only thing I will say, Paul, is that at the time, when the lady asked for permission, she was granted permission prior to that annual meeting and prior to the agreement to do the work. Once the work was agreed to be done, then it should have been actioned pretty much immediately, and then it would have been done prior to her going in there. But as that was not the case, when she went in there, the work had not been done.
So she shouldn't have actually been in there. Would she be, if something happened to a member of the public, what would the insurance situation
I don't know.
And again, is the electric, was that paid for by the rental of the premises, or was that dealt with by the parish council?
It's a rented property, so I'm assuming the council paid for it.
The council paid for it?
Yes.
Well, many years before you became living in this area, we had some very nice hanging baskets in Holwich, and at the time it was said they couldn't have any water from Holwich Parish Council because it hadn't been allowed for in the precept. So I assume that, was this allowed for in the precept to give free electric?
I would have thought that the amount of electricity she used for maybe 1 or 2 light bulbs was negligible. Probably cost more to build it than it would do.
Thank you for your comments, Paul. Is there any other questions? No? Thank you. Right, reports from elected members. To receive reports from elected members of South Holland District Council and Lincolnshire County Council. Have you got any reports?
Yes, so I gave an update quite a while ago now on the local government reorganisation, but a few members have changed and wanted an update again. So basically the local government reorganisation across Lincolnshire is progressing, with the district and county councils having submitted their proposals to government outlining the different options that they've basically been working on for future unitary authorities. The decision from government is expected in July, so any time soon, but more likely be later than that. And then following this, a structural changes order will confirm the key details such as the size of the council, the ward boundaries, number of councillors, etc. The elections for the new unitary authority are anticipated in 2027. These councils will form a shadow authority, which will focus on preparing the new council rather than delivering services. So South Holland District Council and County Council will still exist until 2028, at which point they will, the new authority will go live and they will take over, and South Holland County won't be there anymore. At present, parish councils aren't expected to be affected. They may be allowed to be involved in various different committees and groups across the unitary authority area, but unless there is a request by a parish council for any asset transfers, there will be no effect upon them at this time. So that's local government reorganisation. Just an update on the garden waste scheme, because we had a lot of questions about that last year. They've now expanded service that's open to everybody. So there's not a waiting list where you're waiting for 2 years to get a bin. You just apply and then you should hopefully get that pretty much immediately. The waste transformation programme, which is going to basically bins and getting food waste collection, they're still developing that. They are going through, the officers are looking at areas that could have bins and areas where bins would be impractical. They are going to allow councillors, ward members to be involved in that process as well, so if anybody has got any areas that would not be suitable for bins, we can submit them for that. And we are having an all-member briefing for that tomorrow, so hopefully I'll have a bit more update on that. And then lastly, the conservation area appraisals, that was outstanding for a number of years. Last time I think it was done was about 2016. So a new one has been done, consultation ran from November to February, and the documents are set to go to approval for Cabinet on 30th of June. And they've also developed a design guide. So hopefully with those two we should get some better planning applications going through.
Thank you.
Just, Sophie, could you?
I'll send it through, yeah. Sorry, I only managed to write it today, but yeah, I'll send it through.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sam?
Can I just ask about the head of the county and the councils that councils can be involved in if they cannot come up in certain areas?
Yeah.
Does that go through the clerk? Does it go through
So,
individuals?
it will be the ward members for district council, they will be the kind of conduit to go through. So if generally on the parish council you've got any areas, if you send them through to the clerk and then forward it to me, and then I can liaise with the waste services team and the portfolio holder to make them aware of any areas. But hopefully we should get a bit more information in the briefing tomorrow, so I'll ask a bit more about that tomorrow evening.
Thank you. Okay, so we move to the minutes. Sophie has supplied all the minutes, but very recently, isn't it?
Yeah, I apologise.
That's okay, so I don't think anyone would have had time to read the minutes in the last, well, I was here setting up at the time, so I haven't had time, so I would say that we should defer until we've had time, if that's acceptable. Is that acceptable to everyone? Do you want to... Yeah, a seconder on that? All in for that?
Was it a question?
Yeah, just the April 4 council meeting minutes are the only ones that are still outstanding, so I'm happy to do a draft of them if you'd like me to for the next meeting, because theirs still haven't been done.
Oh,
That was just when literally the clerk left pretty much after that meeting, so they never got done.
Okay. Isabel?
And also, there's also the Open Spaces Committee meeting that they haven't been done either, so I did send notes through at the time, but again, if you want me to just do a basic draft, I
I
will
think
do.
there's an issue with the legality of the meeting.
Yeah, we can discuss
We
it.
can discuss it.
Okay.
So, sorry, who proposed that and who seconded?
Tim proposed, Sophie seconded, and we invited him.
Yeah.
Okay. 5 clerks reports, receive a report for the clerk.
Okay, so I'm currently ploughing my way through the accounts for 25-26 financial year with the help of Helen, the Deputy Clerk. I'm in touch with our internal auditor who fully understands the situation, and our external auditor who aren't very helpful and have given me until the 30th of June to present the full AGAR to council and submit to them. I can't see that's humanly possible. I'm trying my best, but, you know.
Sophie?
So the email that was circulated around, they said about they have agreed an extension to the 31st of July, but then in the email they sent to you was basically explaining that they can't change the statutory deadline. So does it basically, reading between the lines, it basically means we would have to declare something on our AGAR form that we haven't managed to complete it in time, but ultimately they won't start fining us because they've agreed an extension.
Yeah, so the rights, the public rights have to be, don't quote me exactly, I think it's the first 11 days of July.
Yeah.
They have to, but you can't put that out if you've not finished and haven't got anything to show people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm doing it, but I'm coming up against lots of things like missing invoices and all sorts of things. So I'm now on December. So hopefully. And also I use my delegated powers along with the Open Spaces Committee to give the go-ahead to trace a water leak in Carter's Park. The authorisation is up to 4,000. At the time of writing this, which was 9:20 this morning, the job is going well. The job is virtually finished.
The job is nearly finished,
So it will come in well under that. And because they found it all so quickly, they've actually gone all the way back to the toilets and they've put in blue piping and they put manholes where each time there's a joint or change of direction. So it's a
Should
job
have
well
carried
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want me to move on to vacancies?
Yes, please.
So the vacancies, we've got 6 on Town Ward, 3 on Herne and 1 on Drove.
Right, okay. And number 3, to resolve to agree to co-options as committee. Rick, would you like to introduce yourself?
I think you all know me. Used to be the council for about 4 years, chair of finance. Been off for just over a year, and having seen the state of the accounts as they are now, you need help. So I've been asked by a few people outside of the parish council to go back on. I had a chat with Adrian on Friday and submitted my papers on Friday to the council. Members one.
Thank you. So, have we got a proposal? Thank you. Got a seconder? Thank you. Have we got a vote? For everyone? Thank you. You've got some paper?
I'll come to next to Sam.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's the 8th of June, 26th.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You've got 3 men then.
You happy with that?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, so move on to Finance and Admin Committee. To resolve to agree to form a new Finance and Admin Committee. We've got a proposal for that, please. We've got a seconder for that, please. Thank you. And we've got a vote for that, please. 4. Thank you. Have we got,
Did you put your hand up? Yeah, sorry.
have we got an against?
Yeah.
Just,
It doesn't need to be recorded, I don't mind.
thank you.
So you want your vote recorded?
No.
No.
Right, okay. So, to elect members to that committee. Got any proposals, please?
I propose myself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have we got a vote for, please? Thank you. That's 1. We need 3, I believe. Have we got a second?
Yourself? No.
You interested, are you? No. Have we got anyone else interested, please?
It's not my forte. Not sure anything is okay.
So I'll propose you. Have we got a seconder for that, please? Thank you. Have we got a vote for, please? There's 2. We've got 1 more, please, to make this committee. Is this the finance and IT, isn't it?
Yeah.
Finance, IT and admin, yeah.
Yeah, I'll propose myself because of IT side. So,
Eddie put his hand
That's
up.
all right, you.
no, you can have more than 3,
Yeah.
can't you? You can have more than 3. We'll go Eddie first. So I'll second Eddie.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. So, proposed by Peter?
Yeah, seconded by me. A vote for Eddie, please. Thank you.
And then Adrian, proposer.
Proposal for me. Seconder for me, please. A vote for, please. Stacey IT side mainly.
Tim,
Record against.
record against.
Okay, anyone else recall against or against? No, thank you. Right. For the members of the committee
Oh,
to...
we've just done.
Sorry?
We've just done that. We've gone.
No,
No, we
Elect
haven't.
the chair of the committee.
Yeah, sorry.
For the members of the committee to elect a chair of the committee, can we have a proposal, please?
Rick Stevens.
I'll second Rick. Can we have a full vote, please? Rick
They say
Stevens.
for the committee members to vote.
Committee.
Oh, sorry. So that'd be me.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3. That's all, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. Right. Moving on. To note the bank balances as of 31st of May 2026. Account ending 5844 as in £2,015 and wise going in there. 606. Account ending 5394. £298,412.30 and account ending 001 is £451,281.27. We happy with that?
Mhm.
Yep. To resolve to agree the payments for the May 2026, the payments extend to £24,623.94. Have we got any comments on the payments list? Sophie?
The only question I would have was there an issue doing all the invoices to circulate or?
Yeah, 2 reasons. One, it's though it's in our financial regulations, it doesn't have to be. So when we do the new financial regulations, I suggest we take it out because the software doesn't allow for that. So it would mean either scanning or printing everything again. So, and now you've got a finance committee, they always check that.
Should we have digital copies of the invoices anyway?
No.
So we don't have any digital copies of the invoices? I would have thought that'd be a bit risky if we've only got paper copies, if anything were to happen.
No, they're all digital because HMRC says you have to have them digital.
Yeah.
Well, the invoices?
Yeah, they're all on the Edge system.
Yeah.
So that when you put the...
Yeah, so that the actual invoice would have been scanned in and attached to a generator, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
presumably they're already scanned in and saved to OneDrive. So
No,
that we
they're
know.
not. So they're scanned in, and then once they're in Edge, they're deleted. That's the way we've always done it.
Okay.
So you don't need to keep them. And the other issue is, I haven't got a scanner either.
We've got IT equipment issues that I mentioned.
So I've got a pile of invoices, or a few, that I'm still waiting, so I've had to enter the invoices in, but without the attachments, because I can't scan. The deputy clerk had to take some home and do them, that's the...
Yeah. I appreciate you've had issues with scanning and stuff recently with the IT, but personally, after having it over the last year or so with the invoices going out and also going out to the public, it does mean that there are far less questions on the payments and things like that. And I would like to see that continue because it is in the now recommended financial regs. So
it will come up in the financial regs, but as it's not a legal requirement to do so, it would cause the office a lot of extra work.
We'll review it, won't we? Obviously we've got a finance committee, we'll review it. So have we got a proposal to agree the payments list?
I can't vote because I haven't seen it.
Proposal to agree the payments list? We've got a seconder for that, please. Thank you. And we've got a vote for agreeing the payments list. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, let's just...
Okay. And vote against accepting the payments list? Sophie, is that it? Is that correct? Thank you. Right. To resolve to agree the grant form received. Have we received the grant
No,
form?
somebody came in asking for a form and said that I would have it in readiness for the meeting, but it hasn't.
Prioritised. No problem, thank you. To resolve to agree the new mileage rates as per the HM government. We've got a list of the mileage rates. Has anyone got an issue with them? Sophie?
The only thing I would say is I believe they are referenced in the statement of main terms or the employee handbook, so a formal amendment to contract will just need to go out.
Yeah.
So everybody wants that approved.
Thank you. So can we have a proposal to agree then? Thank you. A seconder for that? Thank you.
Who was the proposal?
Sophie. Second Tim. And a 4, please. Thank you. Right, okay. So I think to resolve to agree the way forward for the mobile phone SIM contracts, there's a list of numbers there. Has anyone got any comments with regard to that?
So, Peter Howden, do you use your council mobile
No, I
phone?
gave it back.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
Oh,
last year.
Yeah.
I've got no record of it, sorry.
Do you want to go for each one?
Right, yeah, so Tim, have you still got one?
I have indeed.
Still using it, yeah?
Yes.
No problem.
Okay, so we'll keep that one. I presume John Bennett Collins must have handed his back when he left as well. So that one.
Any more?
Joe Moore, I presume the same thing.
We can always stop if they're not. We just stop contracting.
Peter Savory, I guess is.
Can I just suggest that if we've got names against all of these lists of numbers, if anybody who either no longer uses them or is left council are removed, and we'll go through that after the meeting.
Yeah.
But in terms of just a general comment, personally, I'd be considering, given we're out of contract now with O2, we'd cancel the contract with O2.
We're not quite out of the contract. I've got to check this because they contacted me, but they've said we've still got some time left. But I think we're out of contract.
I'm sure they contacted whilst you were on and said that we were out of contract. Because personally, I think we need to review, we were in the process of reviewing our IT policy anyway, and that will refine us having to continue. But especially for councillors, if you went for a contract more like Smarty Mobile, where it's only for the 30 days and it can be cancelled immediately after, if you get councillors that come and go, you are not then charging for a lot more, and it's also a lot cheaper than £8 a month.
No, so when a councillor goes, I took the phone back, I wiped it and I reissued that phone to somebody else. So there was a log of who'd got.
Yeah,
So
so I
the
mean, if a councillor goes recently, we've had quite a lot of times where councillors have left and they're not being replaced, so then we would ultimately be paying for contracts.
Yeah.
So I think looking at alternative contracts where they can be cancelled short term, so only for 30 days at a time, and are cheaper as well, would be better.
Makes perfect sense to me, especially if something like Smarty. You can change the numbers even, so I want this number on Smarty, put the number across if they get worried about numbers.
Paul Forrester, Paul, do you use your council phone?
Not for making telephone calls.
Oh, so you still want to keep your council issued one?
Well, these are the numbers, so it's
For the
irrelevant
time-
of the
for
actual
time
phone.
being, but it's not essential. But then you have to use my private email.
Yeah, so Paul wants to keep his.
Yeah,
That's two, so we can get rid of one.
Yeah. but these are numbers.
I believe the one that was allocated to my name is now being used by Dan.
Oh, does he use it?
Well, he's got it. It was issued to him.
Because he rings me off his private
But I think it was more for the emails when he's out,
Okay.
Ah,
I believe.
Yeah.
But he has got.
Sophie?
Can I suggest we look into using the good phones for all of the members of staff first as a priority, making sure that they have got the data and telephone calls and everything else. And in terms of councillors, if ultimately it's only meant to be for communicating via email and looking at documents, do they actually need a SIM card in them anyway? Because if they're not going to be making telephone calls or using mobile data, then that saves us money. It's just then they've got a device to access the documents on.
when they were, I don't know if you were at the meeting, but when it was decided between tablets or phones, a lot of councillors said they would refuse to use their own personal phones, which meant that if we wanted to get hold of people urgently during the day, we had no way of contacting them. once they were outside of their work address or home address, and that's why we went for what we did, but I don't know how it's working.
Shall we defer the item because it needs looking into?
Well, I've got a chain, the lady's phoning me Wednesday to, we can save the money.
We're out of contract anyway, and I think we're going to go smart. Tim,
I use my mobile data.
use your mobile.
I do use my mobile data.
Which the smarty idea will still cover that. I've got it. It's perfectly acceptable. So I think I do like Sophie's idea, to be honest, to move to a rolling month contract. You get your data, you get your phone number still, you get a cheaper deal. So should we do we need to vote on that?
So my proposal then would be to remove any numbers that are not in use, ensure all members of staff have one of the actual smartphones.
If they want one, yeah?
Well, no, I think it should be a company device because they should be able to be contactable if they're walking around sites or anything like that. And then in terms of the contract, we go with Smarty and we go with the cheapest possible plan available for councillors and whatever is the suitable requirement for data for members of staff.
So the issue I had before was that certain companies who have the smaller or the cheaper things won't put it in a council name, it has to go in a person's name, and I wasn't prepared to have that on my financial footprint. So that's why we went to O2, because at the time they were, them and Virgin, well they're now all the same company, but they were the only ones that were offering
We need to check. The whole thing needs checking. Shall we just defer? Because if we need to check, we need to check if Smarty will basically do the deal. I agree, I've used Smarty.
I don't really want two phones.
Can I
Carry my
propose that we defer this until we've had a meeting?
Yeah. Yeah. Second it, vote for deferring until we've discussed, looked into it further. Thank you.
Who's that? I vote for it. And who seconded?
Peter, I think.
Peter.
And Tim, I don't know.
Tim. And then Pauline for deferring. Until we looked into it. Yeah. Right. Open Spaces Committee. To receive a report from the Chair of the Committee. Well,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I haven't got a whole lot to tell you. I found myself doing this unexpectedly a month ago, and I'm still catching up on a lot of stuff. The Clerk Azura reported about the issue of the leak, which has gone as well as expected. Both Adrian and I did actually go and look at the work before it started and when it was in progress, and they've done a good job. And I did say to Dan, whilst the machine was there, and he's got a mini digger, perhaps it would be a good idea to take a little of that edge down that's near the toilet, so that the toilets were slightly more exposed, so you could see what was going on from the toilets, and so that the CCTV could also be able to have a view of it. So I think that's probably been done by now, I hope so at any rate. Not a whole lot, just enough to get a better view. It's too screened in there, you know, we've had problems. There was an incident which you may or may not have heard about, of vandalism, where watering cans were taken from the Parkwood Cemetery. Some kids were playing water bombs, they filled the watering cans with water, went into the park, played with the watering bombs, and then dumped the watering cans in the park and jumped up and down on them until they were broken. I think it was the same group. Later, there's a row of alliums, ornamental onions, with very nice flower domes on the top, and they were smashing those with a stick, just knocking them off. Dan saw them and asked them if they wouldn't stop doing that, and they just swore and cursed at him and generally gave him a really hard time. And following his normal instructions, I hope, he just walked away. There was nothing else he could do about it. A group of girls, you know, you can't really start getting into any situation with them. So I was left. And the rest on the Open Spaces Committee comes down to issues of the tractor shed and Park Bungalow, so I think we'll move on to those, Mr Chairman, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, to discuss and resolve to agree the way forward with the tractor shed. There are a few options listed. Isabel?
I do need to make a point that you've put out figures into the public domain. So should we now need to go out for tender, that's going to be a bit of a difficulty.
All of them will be going out to tender, won't they,
Yes,
because of
we've
the
got
cost.
to go out to tender under financial regs, but the figures have been now out there, so.
Can I
Put us on a little bit like that was made.
when family finishes as well?
Yes,
This is a matter of urgency. Talk about going out to tender. I don't know whether we've got time on that or not. But that tractor shed as it exists now will be dangerous come the winter. It cannot be used by the staff. It's falling to pieces. The equipment in there is covered in showers of woodworm dust every time they leave anything in. The supporting props are rotting. It's barely safe now. I suppose we get away with the summer, but it's got to be done. It's got to be done quickly. Bearing in mind that any contractor who is asked to do this job isn't going to be sitting on the backside doing nothing. They're going to have other jobs that need to complete first. If you have got a contractor that's doing nothing, perhaps you should be looking at a different one because there'll be a reason for that. So it really is urgent. Because the alternative is you're going to end up with some of the equipment standing outside in the rain, maybe covered with tarpaulins. Because I wouldn't be happy with the staff going into that building once the winter comes and with its wind and rain and so on and so forth. So it is very urgent. There are a number of different options here. And I again point out that the problem with going out to tender, which I know is normal policy, people who have quoted on this before, and several of them have had no response. It's been months, and in some cases years. And when I was contractor, I could tell you that if I spent 2 or 3 days taking out quantities and working out plans and doing drawings for a potential customer, and I heard nothing from them, I wouldn't touch that customer again with a barge pole. And that is the response I've been getting, making inquiries on various different people. They just don't want to talk to us. They put a quote in, we didn't even acknowledge it, as far as I'm aware. We certainly didn't follow it up, and they don't want to know. So there are a very limited number of local people who could quote on this sort of thing. There are plenty outside, but that's always tricky. Better to use new people, old existing suppliers if you can get them to in the area. But it's a bit of a quandary. I think it's more a question of finding someone who's actually prepared to do it and putting in out the tender and then waiting another X months for something to come back and then having another meeting. We've been doing this for years. It's got to stop. We've got to move on. So
tender, in terms of your timescales, if you're going to have to do planning anyway, that's going to be at least 8 weeks, if not more. So in terms of the tender process, that can be running concurrently. I think in particular you've got 3 issues. You've got the size that we need to determine, you've got the materials, and you've got whether you're going to do a new slab or keep the existing slab. So shall we start with size and determine that first and walk through them, because else we're never going to get through this meeting.
yeah, just let me come in here. I know you are convinced that planning permission is necessary. I'm not.
I'm a senior planning officer, Paul, with respect.
Yeah, I've
I've
also,
you the
well,
planning
I've also talked to the planning officer.
So,
why are you
Shall we go through the options, see where we are?
No, we want to do this
Just
now.
ask
And
one
he
question.
pointed me to a specific paragraph in the regulation.
I did, I sent it through to you, I've circulated the regulations through to you.
You can't read between the lines, Sophie, and
I'm
sometimes
not
you've got
read
to do
between the
that.
lines,
Alright.
it says it clearly, Paul.
Alright, shall we? Let's go.
Ask one question.
Yeah.
When was the planning application put in for the works at Park Road Bungalow?
Probably January.
And that
January.
hasn't been decided yet.
no, due to be determined any day.
So then we're looking at next year if we're doing the same thing again with planning permission.
And that's not good enough. It's just not good enough. acceptable.
Shall we, this is such a pretentious item, what I'd like to do is actually go around the room, and because otherwise we'll be doing this all night. So let's go around the room, have you say on it, and see where we are, because otherwise we'll be going with you next year. Tim?
Can I start on that one? I'm fully in agreement with Sophie on these issues. The planning issues are what they are. I also agree with Paul in some respects in the fact that we do need to do this urgently, but there's no way that we're going to vote to do things without due diligence and go to anybody, any contractor without 3 quotes. So that ain't going to happen. Fundamentally, as I see it, the issue is that Dan wants a shed of a certain size, being the size we've got, which is one that would require planning permission. I put a plan in for a steel shed that was smaller, but I appreciate he wants to have the size that he wants. Therefore, we need to build a shed of the size it is. Now, if we demolish and repair and erect a new shed on that, put that slab effectively, we will need planning permission. But there is nothing to stop us from repairing it. And I believe there's a quote in here to cover for exactly that option. We can simply strip all the tin off it, reinforce all the woodwork, etc. that needs doing. Like we do with aeroplanes. You dig a badge out of a swamp that's got, Spitfire XR9 serial number such and such, you nail it to an awful lot of new bits, you've got a new Spitfire. It's still the same Spitfire. Right? In this case, it's still the same shed. If we simply strip all the tin off and rebuild the framework in the tin we've got, don't need to change it that, and replace all the tin on that. And we've got a new shed basically for very little money with no planning issues. We've got to take the planning issues out of the equation, one, because an extra £5,000 at least, and two, because of the delays it's going to inject, which Paul doesn't want, and of course Dan doesn't want either. So, whatever way you look at this, the logical option is simply repair rather than replace. I hate it myself, so I'd much rather see a brand new building there, of the specification I talked about, of the specifications in the tender, from the electric door and everything else. It'd be wonderful, but the problem is we haven't got the funding yet to do it, and we need to get this resolved straight away. So I would go for that. That's my recommendation.
Can I just come in with this?
To go 2 cents. Because I want to speak to everyone and ask questions at that person because we've got 8 people. I would like to ask a question on repair. Is there, in law, is there some case of how much you can repair before it's classified as replacement?
No.
In terms of your planning, it depends. If you were going to completely replant the whole building, then yes, that would need planning.
We're not like, is there some sort of
In terms
percentage?
of showing it's fact and degree, basically. So I can't tell you, if you're just having a general discussion now, whether you're necessarily going to need planning on it or not, until I would see a full specification for the repair works.
Right, okay.
So
Thank you,
there
Tim.
is a chance it could do.
I did see a public...
Just a question, if I can. Well, 2 questions. For your benefit, the planning application for demolition bungalow was submitted on 30th of March. There's a decision due on 26th of June. It's about 3 months. I'm confused because this planning application says demolition of the bungalow and erection of a tractor storage shed. So what, has something changed, or maybe I'm a bit lost? Because you've already submitted one to do this.
Things have changed.
Things have
So
changed.
you're proposing to submit it again for a different plan?
Yes.
Different.
Okay, fine.
Paul?
I've shown obviously, all the different quotes that are available to us to Dan and discussed it. His primary choice was a new timber building. His secondary choice was repair. And he would accept either of those.
Thank you.
So there's something to be said for what Tim's proposing.
Yeah, I'm done. Right. Eddie, have you got anything to say on the subject?
I missed most of all this anyway, but if Tim's suggestion can work, let's get it done.
Yeah. Paul?
Aye, Peter.
Peter, sorry.
Yes, I would agree totally with Tim.
Yeah.
I don't know, just rather. I'd like to see a new shed
Yeah.
on the existing foundations that they've got there, because it's big enough. And as to the money for it, I'm sure we can have a good look at finances, see what we've got, work out what we're supposed to have, and see what we can release, and we can do that within the next fortnight.
Yeah.
That's my view.
Sam?
I've got a question because
you.
if you've got planning already going through for the does that have to be in the exact place that they put it because it's the whole cars park, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you couldn't use that planning to go. I just wanted to question
Because if the red line just goes around the
red line is right. Okay. So I emailed Dan because at the end of the day he's going to be the one using it, the main one plus the park, and I don't know much about sheds. He said, I would love to, but I'm not. My personal opinion is to get the new wooden frame building up and get the roof and walls clad and galvanised, the same footprint as his. Planning and build should fit our budget. Paul agrees. So he's gone. He set out what he wants. I can't see any real pitfalls in what Tim said. Really, I think it covers all bases. It gives him the size that he wants it, and it makes sense to me. And as long as it covers
It saves a lot of money.
and as long as it saves the people money, then I think Tim's come up with a genius idea, and I wish I could come up with it myself.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson.
Isabel?
As Paul said, this has been going on for ages. It was discussed at length many a time at open spaces. We did discuss about the repair or the new, and it was felt at that time that a new build would be the best option. Then that obviously got changed because we ended up looking at the whole, moving it to a different site. To be able to deliver it as quickly as possible, then the repair is the most sensible route, providing that it can be repaired, because it is a while since that person has been to see it. So somebody would have to come out and look at it again and make sure that that is doable. But it would solve the issue quicker.
Thank you. Sophie?
I mean, I've got a lot of thoughts about what I personally prefer, but we're not at that point at the moment. So I think repair is going to be your most logical solution at this point in time, given the opinions around the room, and we'll get it sorted. It depends on the extent of the repair and the extent of your external changes as to whether you require planning or not. So I'm not going to sit here and go, yes, it's absolutely fine, you'll save your time, because if that's the only reason you're really going for repair rather than a new build, then if it turns out you need planning still, then you may as well go for a new build. What I would suggest we therefore do at this point in time, given you're going to need to get people out to have a look at it, updated to see whether the repair is going to work, I would suggest we agree a first and second option. So if the repair fails for whatever reason, we go with option B. So we don't have to come back.
Yeah, we don't want to come back again. So would the proposal be...
Can I just come in here before I start voting on this, please? I'm happy to accept the proposal about repair. It's not ideal, but it will get the thing done. It will avoid the planning problems. However, this is an old quote. It came out in July 25, a year old, and timber's gone up quite a lot since then, so it's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
We will have to get them out again to look at it.
Yeah.
I was going to say I would like the Green Spaces Committee to have devolved powers to get on with this, but since it's going to be at least until the next meeting, until we've got someone out to look at it and got some paperwork in, I won't ask for that now.
You can put on the ceilings that you could say council agrees up to a certain amount. Without
Yeah.
coming back.
How much was it, Paul?
You can't say.
Well,
I don't know. It's recording.
Can I just point it to the thing, please?
It's a bit of a movable feast. There are some figures here, but they will be different. And once you start knocking things about,
And if we say a figure out, then it could
in
prejudice
my
things.
experience,
Yeah, that's
usually
that's
find other
acceptable.
things and it kind of snowballs. So you have
Yeah,
to bear
I
that in
understand.
mind. But it will be well under the budget we originally set.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
quick point of order. Can we stop allowing people to talk over each other? Because I can't hear what's going on.
Yeah.
So one person at a time talking, which is the standard rules. Thank you very much.
Right, okay, so have we got a proposal?
Well, I propose what I've said.
Have we got a first and second, as in, if this doesn't work, move on, as per Sophie's suggestion? Is anyone happy with that?
My only concern, as I said, all along with the wooden shed, is the issue fire hazard. And I'd rather we're afraid we're going to have the one guy if the situation continues with the kids in the park as they are at the moment. I think that is something that has to be taken very, very seriously. That's the situation. It's up to the council to decide what they want to do.
So have we got a proposal? Sophie, have you got a proposal? Has everyone got a proposal? Or is a proposal simply to go for repair?
And I suggest that if we're going to propose to go for repair, as Tim has said, that we aim to get the quotes back in ready for next meeting. And then if at that point it's not feasible to do it, then we can then agree to do whatever is necessary next.
Okay. So the proposal would be to go for the repair and obtain quotes by the next meeting, is that correct?
Yep, I'll second that.
Second that. Who proposes that?
Isabel.
Isabel proposes that. Second it. Are we all in for that? Thank you. Yeah. Okay, item number 3, to resolve to agree for a van in the park at Carts Park on 13th of June from 17:30 to 2000 for a photo exhibition on the youth of Lincolnshire. Isabel?
It's not required, we agreed it at last meeting.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Four, to resolve to agree the way forward for a request for an ice cream van to use Carts Park in the summer from 11 o'clock to 1900 each day, weather permitting. So, Isabel?
You can't, well, you can if you wanted to, but my advice would be that you need specified dates and times, and you need all the paperwork from them. And if you're going to allow one person to do it, then you need to open it up to other people. You can't just have one person doing it all the time. If they're going to just want to rock up on any day they feel like it, we need to know so we can let them in, and it's just not feasible to do it. So unless they can specify times and dates exactly when they want to come, then the answer would have to be no.
The proposal.
The open spaces, you said no anyway, didn't you?
For that particular
Yes.
one.
Yes, and that is this particular
That is
one.
particular. Okay. Is there any other comments on that?
Yeah, I think we should only allow people in on special occasions. I agree with Isabel. I don't think you can just give someone carte blanche to turn up and
It's also taking the trade away from the high street.
Yeah. So the proposal is for a no on that, is that correct? Who is making that proposal? Isabel? Have we got a seconder? Yeah. And we've got vote for? No. Anyone objecting to the no? No. Thank you. Okay, to number 5. To resolve to agree to create QR codes for the parks and cemeteries to enable speedy reporting of issues. Sam, this was your item, I believe.
This was just, it's a technological thing that I see in other places, and you know more about it because you're more IT based than I am, but it seems like a good idea that it goes direct to the clerk or whoever it, or clerk, sorry, or whoever else it needs to go to, and they just scan it and they fill in a little form. But I wouldn't know how to set it up because I know nothing about IT in the slightest, and how to use a phone. But I just thought it was an easier way than having to go through emails and trying to find information or going into the office. That's why.
Probably with these, set up a QR code that points to an email address and assign a specific email address that would only take care of that and not go into the parish and get lost with all the others. That would be a quick and easy way to do it.
You might get more people reporting things if it's easy, especially with the modern
issues,
information.
say like issues, blah blah blah. Tim?
Rather than a QR code, effectively an asset number would be a better way of doing it. Otherwise, you're having to create all these different email addresses for all the QR codes, etc. I don't necessarily QR code is terribly effective. It's useful in terms of where you've got a building, it gives you all the history of the building, etc. If it's a particular flower bed with a QR code, we've not got a great deal of background to it, it's just whether it's been vandalised or not. So something like an asset number might be a better way of doing it. I'm just not knocking your suggestion, it's a good one, but it'd probably be better done with an asset number rather than a QR code.
Sam?
It was more just a couple in the park instead. I see what you're saying about the assets, but you wouldn't. I'm not foreseeing it as certain people going other slides being vandalised. It's just, I suppose, it was trying to find an easy way of people reporting things, because people tend to, if you've got to go through to the website and you've got to go and find the email address, you've got to do that. People don't tend to do it. Whereas if you just scan your phone or something, oh, I've seen there's loads of litter in the park, it then is quick. That's why I'm trying to make it easier for people to report when there are issues, because I know what I'm like. If I've got to go through websites, I tend not to bother.
Sophie?
The only thing I would say is if you're going to do a QR code, make sure you've got a phone number and email address on the same thing at the same time, because else you will get a complaint that people can't use it. And I would say that the QR code should go through to the same public email address that we always use, because it gets people using the same one. If you start creating loads of different email addresses, people get confused as to where they go and how they contact. It needs to be the same constant communication and contact going out, but all the different ways in which people can contact, and QR codes is another one, then that will be useful.
Thank you. Paul?
Yeah, I hate PR codes, I loathe them, I try to avoid using them, but I see it's the way forward for a lot of things. The only comment I would make is if we're going to put a QR code up, can we do it in such a way that someone can't come and stick a sticker over it and take them to something that's going to take the money away from them, because that seems to be quite common these days. They do it in car parks.
Yeah.
Put a sticker over the QR code, it looks like the one, they click on it and they're in trouble.
Can I just say, we've not had that trouble with the other QR codes that are around, have we? Because there's QR codes in various places in town, isn't there?
They're no longer working.
Oh, they don't? Okay. Alright.
Do we need to look into this more?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'd say that we defer it. Isabel?
Can I suggest that that goes to open spaces to discuss?
Yeah. No problem. So the proposal is to move that agenda item to open spaces? Yes?
I'll second.
Second that? For that? Thank you. Okay. Right, so PPS committee. So item number 1 is no longer required. Is anyone any issues with that? Sophie?
Yeah, I have received your explanations why you feel it's no longer required. But I would like to make a point that regarding that item and also deciding events, I did make a request for those items. And I didn't request them for any reason at all to do with council conduct or anything. My request was for the health and safety and wellbeing of our employees, which I still feel is relevant. We obviously have had the advice come through, but I would still be suggesting that given those committees aren't quorum, they're not functioning, the functions can be done through council. I did make my point before that I feel we have too many committees and we're not going to be able to cope with them anyway, that we still consider the item. And I'm happy to put forward a legally safe proposal if there are concerns, but my concerns were not anything to do with council conduct at all.
I have difficulty because of who was advised.
Who was advised, but they were asked a specific question, which was not the reason why I requested the items. If other people requested the items for those reasons, then I'm not aware of that. But I requested these 2 items myself personally, and that was not the reason why I requested it. So yes, advice has been received, but they did also clearly state that there are a number of legal reasons why committees can be disbanded, and lack of councillors and being able to function as council is one of those legal reasons.
It wasn't, that was, I can't say too much in this thing, but that was a backup email, not who the thing was received. Public member?
Just a quick question. You know my position on speaking in hypotheticals. I think you've opened the door. Can we ask your reason for wanting to dissolve?
Yes. So the reason has expanded since, but my proposal would be that the council notes the committees are currently not quorate and are therefore unable to operate effectively. The council further considers that the functions previously undertaken by the committee can be appropriately managed by a full council, ensuring effective governance, and that we also one second. Sorry, I made a note, but and then in reaching the decision, the council has also considered its duty of care to staff and the need to ensure that governance arrangements provide a safe and appropriate working environment. So those would be the reasons why I would suggest disbanding the committee.
There's more than me in this room.
Go on, I know.
Sorry. There's more. Personally, the advice received was very strong, and I would not want to go against it by anyone in this room because I don't believe they've got superior advice to the person who told me.
I would advise that you seek to make that committee quora, both those committees quora tonight. If you can't, then we review the structure of it next meeting.
When we can look into it more.
When we can look into it more, but if you can make them quora, we still look into perhaps amalgamating some committees.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I just...
Yeah, I know, I appreciate that, Adrian, but the advice was clear on a specific subject, and that is not the subject I'm discussing now.
No, it wasn't quite. Paul knows. Yeah, it wasn't. Eddie?
This is crap, to be fair. Agree to disband the PPS committee, elect members of the committee, members to elect the chair of the committee. It's already been done now. What's going on? You can't disband something that's already been done without going to full council and an explanation. And then elect a new... What is this?
So...
It's junk.
Forget the first ones on there.
Oh, forget it all.
So item number 1, as I said, I was advised to not go ahead with.
Right. So it's not disbanded.
No. Well, one person I would point out, others would have to. Sophie.
So the advice that you received was that you can't disband a committee as a sanction for councillor conduct. That was the specific advice that you received. Just for clarity for members, yes, it was Adrian. And that is not what I was suggesting. That is not the reason why I requested the agenda item. And I didn't request the other agenda items that Eddie's referred to. I only requested the disbanding.
Okay, thank you, Sophie. Sorry, I'm losing track.
Thank you. My question is you keep, Mr. Chairman, you keep looking at Mr. Foyster as if you have information that we don't have as councillors. I cannot vote on something if I don't have all the information. I assume the fellow councillors would agree.
I can't legally give you that information.
Then
I know that information.
And it's not legal to give to
and
you.
it cannot be given out. There are reasons. I can assure you that Adrian said is 100% honest, but you've got to put your trust.
There's 3 people here that received that information, and we cannot.
We clearly can't discuss this openly.
Yeah, exactly.
In a public forum, so can we not take this into closed session and discuss it?
Do you want to try and elect a member onto, or do you prefer?
I'm advising from a legal point, and you're the legal person as well back in it, that we cannot move with item number 1.
We go to item number 2.
Tim?
I really don't understand what's going on with this. Councillor Hutchinson seems to be very quick about issues of employee safety, etc., etc. She hasn't elaborated on them, so I've got no idea what she's talking and also alleging any form of council conduct. Well, again, I've got no idea what she's referring to. The fact of the matter, I fully agree with my colleague here, Eddie, that this is all complete cobblers. It's been done. We've already elected the PPS committee. There may have been resignations, but that's not unusual, and it's not unusual for a committee to fall into being in quorum during the year, etc. Therefore, I'm still on this committee. I don't know who else is, but I will, if there's only...
Hopefully I am.
Yeah, okay, there's two of us on it. There's only one short. We only need one, we're core again, so where's the problem?
Okay, I think we need to move on because
I think you ought
I'm
to...
sorry, but
I think you ought to defer 2 and 3, and then you can do the business, and then Sophie's suggestion of looking at the committees, we can get suggestions from members before the next full meeting, yeah.
I would just like clarification on, please, Mr Chairman, that clearly you've accepted you've got information that you're not able to give to the rest of the council, which I don't find acceptable without knowing the reasons. Are you able to actually divulge where that advice has come from?
no,
Because
for that
we-
reason.
No.
So we've got legal advice from Mal, which is on a specific issue, which is not in relation to this agenda item. It is not in relation to
The
this
legal
agenda
advice
item.
received from Lauk was after receiving item number 1, legal information.
And you've received legal advice that's in relation to an agenda item on agenda that you haven't divulged to the council, and you won't even say where you got it from.
Correct.
And on what basis are you doing that? How can 3 people on the council have legal advice in relation to an agenda item that we're meant to be discussing, and we can't even know what it is or where it's
2
from?
people on the council.
And myself. And
Well, I just find that totally unacceptable.
you've got to run with it, Sophie.
No, I don't have to run with anything. The
Well-
advice is for the council, not for individuals.
I'd
The
agree with
advice is
Sophie.
for the council.
Alright, we'll take it on this one, as you're the legal advisor, aren't you, to the council? And you're advising that we go with not doing this item, correct, legally?
Yeah.
Correct, let's say that.
Sorry, can I just mention one thing before we go?
Yeah,
You've already been elected the chair of the committee. What are you elected another one for? We need 2?
that's what we're saying. The proposal was to scrap items number 1 and 3.
1, 2 and 3.
Right.
One scrap, it was to defer, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah, defer.
2. So 1 isn't required,
1 isn't required.
and 2 and 3 will be deferred, and let full council deal with the PPS matters now, and then it can be changed for the next meeting.
So,
Thank you. Just one, because I know we need to get away from this, but a member of the public over there has got a point to make, and I'd be interested what they say.
that's fine.
If that'd be okay with you.
Carry on.
It's only a question. This is, I don't know the politics behind this point. I mean, as a spectator, it's a bit preposterous, or it sounds to me. I don't understand putting any hat on in what scenario you couldn't disclose the legal basis on which you're withholding the advice without alluding to the advice itself. Because you're obviously on
Yeah, I can disclose that.
Okay, because that may shed some light on.
I can disclose why we've been advised that we cannot proceed with this item, and the advice was that legal advice was taking into consideration other information they hold, that we cannot sanction a councillor.
Sorry, no, I think what we're meaning is, what is the legal basis? You've got a legal basis in which...
You've asked for the legal basis, you can't sanction a councillor.
No, we've already got that, Adrian, we've got that advice, and I was not suggesting sanctioning the council, that was my whole point. What I'm asking for is, what is your legal basis, A, for withholding your advice from the public, and B, from withholding your advice to your own council?
Such as the Local Government Act 1972, Schedule 1, for example, or I think it's Schedule 1, would, if it was related to an individual, you wouldn't be able to take that information in open session. That's a legal basis for withholding advice, not the advice. So what's the basis that you're withholding the advice that you've got, under what? Common law, statute, what's, I don't know.
I'll get the person to write the exact terminology of the law that covers it.
Okay, is it not obvious?
Sorry?
Is it not obvious?
Obviously not.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason, what's been said, there's got to be a reason why you can't be told.
Yes, yeah, all right, I can go that one. You can't sanction a councillor and doing so would prejudice other cases.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about.
That's as simple as that.
You've received advice, Adrian. You have received advice that you have not circulated to council, and you've stated that you are unable to circulate that to council. We've had the advice about sanctioning the councillor. That's irrelevant to this item because that's not why I requested the item, which is my point I made. Why are you not circulating the advice to council? That is my question, and you haven't answered it.
If you've got a problem with it, you know where to go.
Can I propose that we defer this, like?
Yes, that's what I've said
We're
4
gonna be
times,
all
yes.
right.
Second, we're deferring, thank you.
So we're deferring all PPS.
Items 1, 2 and 3.
And then we move on to 4.
Okay, so seconded for that, and can we have a vote for deferring, please?
So Rick suggested it, Adrian agreed, seconded, sorry. Does everybody agree?
No. So who's agreed to agreed to defer? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Yeah. And against deferring?
1, 2, 3, 4. Anybody abstaining? Have you voted?
Yes. Voted for.
We've got 9, so we can't.
That's right, 9.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's 9 now.
Yeah.
so who's voted to defer?
Adrian, you didn't vote.
Me.
Who else did vote?
I voted to defer.
1,
2,
2,
3, 4, 5.
5.
That's it, I didn't see
Yeah.
Paul's hand.
We need some more fingers.
Okay.
Proposal.
You okay with that? Right. To discuss and resolve to agree the way forward for the High Street properties. Item number 4. Can we put this on the agenda, please?
Tim.
Tim?
The issue is that why haven't we got them on the market? Why haven't we done yet? The fact of the matter is we agreed to sell these over a year ago, and as far as I'm aware, nothing's actually been done about getting them on the market. Or Cooper.
I have, because I approached somebody on behalf of the committee.
Do you want to speak?
Oh,
Speak
sorry.
out.
I approached somebody on behalf of the committee to get a ballpark figure, which at the time I think I told Peter about.
Yeah.
And then I went sick, so I don't know where that went.
Thank you. Isabel?
Well, firstly, I did ask Tim directly in an email when it was agreed, because I'm not aware of it being agreed. Any sale of assets has to come to full council, so I'm not aware that it's ever come to full council. I may have missed it, I don't know. Well, if it did, I'm not aware of it. My point would be, personally, I would not wish to be getting rid of those assets. They help support local businesses. We're able to lower the rents to market value to help local businesses. That's my personal point of view. I did do a very quick calculation before I came tonight as to how much they have generated roughly, this is only roughly, in the last 10 years. So, roughly speaking, they have generated an income of around about 118k income, with the money that has been allocated for expenditure each year and for the main things that have been spent on it, even with the renovation works, that only came to about 60k. So you've made a significant amount of money out of those properties in the last 10 years. I know some people have qualms about, you know, the ongoing costs of them, but when you look at it, stacking it up, 10 years worth of income against what you've actually spent on them, personally, I still think they're worth keeping, but that's for full council to decide if that's the route they want to go down.
Thank you, Mr. Bill.
Can I just say I read something recently that says that parish council wanting to get rid of assets has to get permission to do so, and that comes from the Minister of State for parish council, I presume. It was Angela Rayner, so to deal with it. But I think that's the same with these. If you're going to look to dispose of these and write them off, you're going to have to get some proper legal advice first.
I think it depends on how they were purchased initially as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Paul?
With certain exceptions, I agree with Isabel. I don't think we should be considering selling them at all. In fact, if I had half the chance, I'd buy some more, particularly a shop.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, personally, you've generated an income from the assets. There isn't any outstanding large amounts of work that's going to outgrow your income from the last 10 years anyway. They will generate an income. They continue to increase in value. Now is not a good time for selling commercial properties anyway, because there's that many on the market and they are reducing in value. So it would be a silly time to sell. I don't think personally we should be selling them because, you know, you've got two of your key businesses that are probably one of your most long-standing people on the high street in there that, you know, we are actually supporting. And if anything, we should be actually intervening more in the high street in order to improve it. Personally, that would be my thought. And in terms of the Secretary of State, yes, Rick is correct. There is a now legal briefing note. It's if you are selling it undervalued, which the most likely thing is you will have to sell it undervalued at the current market rate. So you would have to then go to the Secretary of State Commission.
Thank you. I've seen your hand, but I'm sure Eddie had his hand up.
Yeah, I'm astonished by this. Why on earth would you even think about selling council assets when they're helping local people? Because that's what we're here for. That's why we're elected, to help local people. You're not to helping local people by stashing the money. What are you going to do with the money?
Well, we have, sorry to butt in, there is a reason why we have to keep X amount in reserves all the time. It's roughly 50% of our precinct. Legally, we have to have that. We didn't have it last year when the previous chairman, who was the ex-mayor of somewhere, decided she wanted to go on a spending spree. But no, we have to keep 50% of our precinct, which is around £400,000 or £500,000 a year.
We need to help local people with properties. We've got properties, we should buy more, not get rid of the properties we've got. As Sophie said, we're selling them, we're going to have to sell them cheap. The property market isn't what it used to be. Now come on, use your brains, for Christ's sake. Why are you elected here? I'm elected to help the people.
I have no objections to buying more property to help other people, but I think we should be looking at a way to help all the people on the high street, not just the odd one or two. That's part of my personal view.
Thank you. Sam?
My question would be to Councillor Wiltshire, because I'm interested in why, because we've got all the people who want to stay to keep the properties, and I am more that way inclined, but I'd be interested, because always for fair debate and discussion, to get the viewpoint of Councillor Wiltshire why you would like to sell the properties.
I'll easily answer that. Sam, the issue is that we did a full pricing structure with, in conjunction with my colleague Peter Howden, examining the whole cost basis analysis of it, and with the roof on the top of the carpet shop, looking like half it's going to be replaced at a cost of about 80 grand. It's going to take many years of rents to be able to recover that money. They have made money because they haven't had any money spent on them all that time. This is the comeback, and the situation is that they're going to cost so much going forward that it's no longer going to be viable to do that. I'd much rather put that money into service across the board than simply subsidise the rent for one or two traders on the high street. I fully accept my colleague Councillor Lally's issue of the fact it does help the high street, and we have got two traders in there that have been there quite some time. But the fact of the matter is that it's only helping two people. We need to be putting that money into better things. And there's other situation is that there's still, with flat 4A, an entirely unsuitable flat with no fire exit to it. And sooner or later, we're going to get our fingers burnt with this. Sorry, that's rather a thing, but we're going to get our fingers burnt. And I think that now would be a good opportunity to get rid of them. And as far as Councillor Hutchinson's issue about selling under value, there isn't a value. There is a value of the market value. And if the market value is low now, that is what we would sell for. But it's the case of we will be selling undervalued, we'll be selling for whatever the market returns on it. You know, so it's no issue of underselling the properties. In an ideal world, I'd much rather sell them and build social housing for half a dozen people. But unfortunately, we're not living in an ideal world. And we are not, we as a council, we are not set up to be landlords. We've got service delivered to the people, and that's why when we'd had this long discussion and it was agreed at the meetings we attended that this should be the way forward, the recommendation, and that's the recommendation went through. So that is that we get rid of them. If the council decides to change that thing now, that's up to them to do. But there's no getting away from the fact that these buildings are falling down, as is Cooperrow. And we need to resolve this one way or the other. Otherwise, it's going to be stacking up lots and lots of expenditure for us and our people coming on after us to try and run this council. And I don't want to do that.
No, I've got 2 seconds. I've got a question before we discuss quite. At the beginning of the conversation, I believe it was said that we had already agreed to sell, and then there was something if we did or didn't. If we make another decision now, does that mean we have to basically go back on the last decision made, or is a certain amount of period passed? Yeah.
And it wasn't made by full council. I don't think.
Okay.
What happened was it was discussed at the PPES committee, and we were going to put that forward to full council. It was discussed at full council, and the decision then was to get figures like Isabel's done of income and outgoings.
Right. Okay.
And that never happened.
Fine. Thank you.
I would like to make a point about the flat. I know it's got secondary glazing in it now, that the rules are changing for energy performance certificates shortly, and we're doing nothing about it. There's no fire exit. It's not ever going to make us see, ever.
Isabel?
Just briefly on that one, you can get exemption from that on certain circumstances. So there is a possibility that you could get it exempted. With regard to the fire exit, etc., it has got fire doors. It went through building regs when it was done. So I have suggested on many an occasion, but it still hasn't been actioned. But I know it's not an ideal scenario, but you can get an emergency escape ladder that you can put out of the window, so at least people could get down if they chose to. Hasn't been actioned.
A man in the stages is crawling down the ladder, or it could be chased by a motor.
Well,
it's not a solution.
No, it may not be a solution to in the ideal world, but it is something that we can do, and we have failed to do it. So therefore, from my point of view is, if you want to put in a full-on fire escape, etc., then you've got to have it costed properly. But we have one at home. We have an emergency escape ladder that we can put out just in case we ever need to. The option is there, but it hasn't been actioned.
Thank you. Obviously, 2 hands. Sam?
I think Tim spoke really well and probably nearly swayed me on that one, to be honest. But my question comes down to, and I'm sure we spoke last time, that if you sell a property, you can't just use the money willy-nilly, can you? You've got to have, do you have to put it back into property? Or you've got to use it in a certain way because of the
Yes, so in terms of the roof on 2, there's been a lot of discussion and things about that. There has been repairs done to it. A local reputable roofer has gone up, and they haven't recommended any further repair work on that after doing it. So yes, maintenance on all properties is ongoing. Ultimately, our most costly property to maintain is going to be the cemetery chapels, and you're going to have to keep that. So you haven't really got much choice. The cost of repairing these properties is negligible in terms of the income you get over the amount of years. But in terms of us as a council moving forward, I think the problem is we're very close-minded about what we can and can't do as a parish council and what we could achieve and deliver. Ultimately, we could do a lot more for the high street. There are changing legislation into doing compulsory purchases for parish councils, so that we could gain certain properties cheaper. We would then actually be able to make a tangible difference. You're not going to be able to buy up the whole high street, but you would be able to make a tangible difference. And there are other parish councils, including Crowland, who do quite regularly develop their own land that they've got, and they are getting a large amount of income from that. They do provide housing and things for their residents. So as long as you're doing it in the correct way and you've got the expertise either in council or you do that outside of council for a company to do that, parish councils can do a lot more. We don't have to be limited, and ultimately that income will then be able to be used on projects within the community, whereas your if you sell a property, yes, you're going to get a lovely lump sum, wonderful, but then that can only be used on certain things. It can only be on capital. So unless you've got a large capital project you're wanting to move that money in, so you're releasing it, liquidising an asset for a purpose, what is your reason for doing so? Because the figures quite clearly have shown that we've made money on properties. So that's clear. That's a fact.
Sam, did you want to say any more on that?
Well, yeah, so my question really was, if you can't use the money for certain things and selling it seems to be a waste of point because you don't want just money in the bank. Rick said that you need to have a certain amount of money in the bank to have the precept, right? So there's lots of different things going on there. But if we could, I mean, I don't know what the market value is of the properties, admit, but if you could sell them to further buy more properties that then benefit more, if we don't have the money, you see what I mean? It's moving properties to make sure we have a wider purchasing rather than 2 properties. Could we buy 4 properties if you sold those? Did you see where I'm coming from? It's utilising the space more, or are we just stuck with those 2 properties? Not stuck. Do we have those 2 properties and they're the best that we're going to get for the money? So therefore, holding on to them gives the long-term money. It's a difficult balance of finding what is right to do with the properties.
Sounds like it needs to be valued, doesn't it?
I can't remember. Do you remember?
Okay.
Yeah, it was 150,000 for all 3.
We're not going to get anything for that.
Pennies.
There you go. That's sorted that out.
Not worth selling.
It's not worth selling. The money you're getting, the yield is 10%. So therefore you've got to keep hold of them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have we got a proposal then? Sophie?
I would propose that we don't sell them, but I would also propose that we actually think about, as a council, the potential of purchasing more, or at least doing more for our community.
Definitely.
I think there's a lot of avenues that we can go down now that weren't open to us before, and it's a longer term situation, but I do think we need to look into it.
Have we got a seconder on there?
No, I've got a question.
Oh, sorry.
We don't really want to be buying more shops because they're not being taken up anyway. Don't we want to do what Crohn's are doing and go into the housing market and help people who need to get out of the housing market. That would be my.
I think look at both and do a proper evaluation of what is best and have a mixture of your assets.
Residential works, doesn't it? Right.
It does. Sorry.
I'll second Sophie's proposal.
Second it. Have we got a 4 on that proposal? How many is that? 1, 2, 3.
Are you voting?
4, 6.
I seconded it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
so-
voted.
Okay, have we got against that proposal? Anyone against? No?
Are you not voting? Do you want your abstention?
I'll just say we're on the subject of the high street. Is anybody aware of the Chinese restaurant near Kubro that is now selling
I read it on Facebook.
and delivering cheap cigarettes?
That's really
Pretty
good.
all order, yeah.
It's a difference in its kind,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is
Be
it?
a bit careful because that's speculation.
It's not speculation, it's online.
Oh, is it?
It's in writing.
Thank you.
Moving on.
Right. 5, to resolve to agree the response to the following planning applications not responded to by the PPES committee.
Do you want me to read out what they are?
Eddie, sorry.
I was just going to make the point that none of the links worked. When I clicked on them, they didn't work. None of the links on the yeah, but they didn't. Both myself and Sophie tried them and it came up with illegal.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, illegal access.
Yeah.
It says it
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
What's that on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one is Cherry Tree House, 138 Dog Road South, and it is a proposed 2-storey side extension and replacement garage.
I vote for that then.
So I don't know what everyone.
Well,
Has anybody got any objections to that?
No.
no.
Just make one point.
Yes, Eddie.
I object, and I want it written, object to the wording of that. Planning applications not responded to by the PPS committee. There is no PPS committee.
There is.
No, there's not. We never had a meeting. It was disbanded. and we were in quorum, so there's no PPS committee for in quorum.
But we have to put that on there because of the terms of reference of the committee.
You have to lie.
Because we have the terms, yeah, we have to.
You have to lie. That's marvellous, isn't it?
Moving on.
Hey, who's chair there?
Thank you. Number 2.
Beach Lodge Nursing Home, Frogs Abbey Gate. Proposed 2-storey extension, rear extensions, associated car parking, amenity space, PV solar panels to roof and general alterations. County court care.
Which was the address of that one?
Beach Lodge,
It's Frogs Abbey Gate.
Frogs Abbey Gate.
It's the one that Richard Jones.
Is that the one?
It's the big one near Richard Jones.
Yeah, is that the one that's got almost no space anywhere on it? No backs, no garden, like that?
It was extended about 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and I really don't think there's any extra space. There's certainly no parking because people park on the road.
Yeah, I don't think that should be extended.
No, I would vote against that.
I would too.
Object. Has any other objections for that?
Sorry, has anybody actually checked the application and whether it's providing the right amount of parking?
Well, no, but I drive past it quite a lot and it's always, the road's permanently blocked by people trying to park
But
outside.
ultimately, if the application provides the correct amount of parking under the local plan, you can't object to an
It's
extension.
got a material.
So we're basically speculating because I'm presuming nobody's looked at them.
Well, I'll give you another one on it, and that is you're putting old people in a box with no access to an outside space, no easy outside space.
So is right.
As far as I can see, there's no garden.
The only space there is there is a little quadrangle at the back. My mother was in there for 2 or 3 years. There's a little quadrangle at the back, which is where they're going to build on, so there'll be no outside space.
So they're removing the amenities.
Yes, there were 5 parking spaces, all taken up by staff. Whenever I visited, I could never park there, and the place was littered with disposal bins.
Yeah.
So the removal of the amenity space would probably be a stronger reason for objecting.
There is
Because your parking is
there is a small amenity space, but it is small. It's just, as my glasses, it's just there. You look at it.
Nuts.
That's just as wrong.
So, who would like to object to that?
So are you objecting on
The amenities.
lack of amenity space?
Yeah. Was that one? How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Objecting on lack of amenities.
That does come under the material, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll abstain, please.
I'll abstain.
I'll abstain because I'm magistrate of the league.
Yeah, I'll
Because I haven't looked at that application and I've got
Sorry,
comments.
Isabel? I haven't seen them, so I can't vote.
So that's fine. So if you abstain, it's classified as not right, so it
Yeah.
goes, doesn't it?
So it goes, yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Next one is installation of a small-scale ground-mounted solar photovoltaic array with associated infrastructure including fencing, cabling and inverter equipment. Trevatho Farm Cottage, Lapwater Lane, Holbeach, St Marks. And it's owned by the Crown Estate.
Is that owned by who?
The
Crown Estate.
Okay.
Site location plan. So,
Trouble is, if you object to it, it's going to go to the government, and the government is going to approve it.
Yeah, I've got no objections.
No.
Has anyone got any objection? No.
Yeah, but what the hell?
yeah, just a bit of advice though, because we'll put through no objection and then there'll be lots of members of the public who will be demanding why we did that, because that's what happens.
Just say you've got no comments to make. No, we'll do a no comment rather than no objection.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if you haven't got anything material to say, then you haven't got anything material to say.
Thank you.
So this one is proposed change of use of agricultural building to dwelling, Fir Cottage, further Oldgate, Holbeach. That's
No comment.
no comment?
Anyone got a
Before we
comment?
do that, let's see what it is, because, you know, we've got no idea what we're talking about. The links didn't work, so.
Let's defer these to the next meeting.
All the planning
Yeah,
issues.
time.
Right,
I
okay.
think there's a lot of them, yeah.
Without what
Yeah,
you
we can't
you
write.
need to actually look at that one.
There's no
Must be a plan,
location planned.
There must be.
There isn't. There's 3 items: application form, general plans, which is floor plan extension. Oh, sorry, site plan is within one of them. So,
Could you just forward that to? Or you've got
yeah, so this is it here. I mean, the site plan isn't particularly informative.
Would you want to email me and say, so I did it? Or would it? What help?
So,
what is the time?
Mr. Chairman, can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Which is something I made last meeting. Can I suggest, given we just sit here and nobody's actually looked at the applications, there's not much point.
I have.
Okay, Pete has.
They all came through individually.
They all
so-
came through individually. I would suggest, rather than us sitting here and going through every little tiny application where people probably have minor or no comments to make, but we look into changing it so that the applications come through. If somebody has got a comment to make or anything like that, they can basically call it in to council to be discussed. And if not, we just don't make a comment.
when they do give their opinion, if they email me, you can't include full council.
Oh no, I wouldn't even suggest they necessarily give their opinion, but say there was one where it was controversial, like care home, and people have got concerns about parking, they would say, okay, I would like us to actually discuss this one at council, please, and we'll put it on the
Just
agenda.
then go for everything.
If not, we won't go through every single one, we
Because
just go through the ones that we actually need to do.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because the links didn't work on this, but they worked when we put them through singularly because I wanted to.
Oh,
And then we've got more chance that people can have a proper look at the ones that are actually of concern to the community, rather than just going through every application.
Okay.
so it's in future.
So you
With respect, Mr Chair,
yeah.
the fact is you've got two-thirds of the PPS committee here now, and I've raised a general concern over a particular thing with this agricultural change. I've asked for a copy of the plan to be sent, emailed to me, so I can do it and I can show my other colleagues.
This is the latest agenda, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It will have already been sent in. They're all circulated as soon as. That's what I mean, when you receive them, if you've got a concern at that point, basically call it in.
When it was put on the agenda, the 6 items together, they're not working, but the actual single items are working absolutely fine.
Okay, send me it and I'll show my colleague, and then we'll be sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'd both like to see it. Because these things with agricultural changes that can be very, open a lot of floodgates if you're not careful. Putting the extension in the back of the house doesn't, but something like that can.
Is it 6:37 days? 2 hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry? Just keep an eye on things.
I haven't put a subject on now.
Don't know. General plan, is it?
Sorry?
It said it's a general plan, you can show.
Yeah, it was the third one, third or second plan,
Oh, the second
third
one,
document.
plans.
Mr Chairman, just to clarify, I've just searched for that application. It's a prior approval application, so really there's very little comment you can make. Basically, they just go through and see whether it meets the limited development rights and whether it requires prior approval. So,
It's
not
over
for
before
that.
it begins.
yeah, so unless you know your PD rights, I wouldn't bother coming.
Did you hear that, Tim?
I do know we get PD rights that happens, but as far as this is concerned, I don't know Tim's rejection of that. Is there any likelihood there'll be any development around it by the looks of that?
It wouldn't set a precedent because it's a prior approval. It's not a full plan application, so it's fine.
Thank you.
So
Right.
no objection?
No objection.
Next one.
We've only got two more, and then we'll move on to your suggestion going forward, Sophie, because obviously.
Proposed change of use, but we've just done that one. Is there two that are the same?
No, it's the same application number,
Is
is
it?
that there?
Yeah, thank you. So this one, yeah, it's exactly the same, isn't it?
They want to change its use and then at
Yeah.
the same time as doing
Yeah.
something with it, I'm guessing.
No,
Got the
it's
same number
it's
on
the
there.
same application.
It's the same
It's just
application.
been done twice.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's easy, so that can be moved on from. Okay, last one.
And the other one's an appeal, just to let you all know, 18 Fish Pond Lane, extension to existing garage to provide a ground floor games room, first floor ancillary accommodation incidental to the main dwelling. So it's been refused, and it's been appealed.
Okay,
It's just really to let you know.
thank you. Okay,
You've got to take a vote on those,
sorry. Okay.
yeah, on the responses.
Right, so we went through each one. Do you want to read off what we responded to each one?
Well, they're all no objection except for the retirement home, and there's objection due to lack of amenity space.
So we have a vote on that? Opposed, seconded? For that?
Do you want it recorded?
No, thank you. Okay, so move on. So item number one on that, as I say, exactly the same as we discussed earlier with the PPS. Vote to defer for exactly the same reasons. Can I have a seconder on that?
It's not defer, it's not required.
Not required, yeah.
So you don't need to vote on it.
Right. Has anyone got? Okay, so we've got to know. Okay, and right, okay, and then the events that were mentioned to discuss and resolve to agree to hold a party in the park, Carter's Park. Does anyone want to comment on that? No one want to say what that was about? No. So that was. This was my.
Yeah, and then on the other side of there, I've put, I'll put nothing there. So it's the date, time, St John's and Thames.
Okay, well, I haven't got these to hand at the moment. It was Carter's Park. The idea behind it was be a tent of such, live music, and live music. The dates were in July, wasn't they? We was looking at. The dates were circulated.
25th and 26th.
Yeah. 25th and 26th. Road closures will be.
No, you don't need road closure, but you do need to notify of an event concerning the highway.
Okay, which will be taken care of. 10s will be taken care of by clerk. Has anyone any comments, objections? Sophie?
Well, it's 25th of July, I don't think you've got enough time to organise it, to be honest. And the event concerning the highway, you would have had to have done by now, but that's pretty good though.
Why does it need the highway, sorry?
Because when people park along the roads, surrounding roads, so you have to tell them that there is an event taking place.
So it's informing rather than...
And it's
Yes.
also so they don't do roadworks on the access route.
But that can be like literally set off tomorrow, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've just used whatever I've used
They
before,
normally
but
like it well in advance, so they normally have a deadline for that.
But it can still be, still within timescales.
you also need normally about 8 weeks for the SAG stuff, but again,
They've increased that since they have increased the timescales.
Have they?
Yes, 3 months minimum.
I was just
3
going to
months.
ask, thank you, I was just going to ask is how much is this event going to cost us?
The events budget held £14,000 for the events that were set aside for this year. We haven't spent any on events at all, and this was the main event.
Well, Park in Park is the main event.
Live
For the
music, as in live music, proper. We was going to Facebook it, basically saying people that wanted to play live music, etc., would put themselves forward, and this was something for the summer, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Isabel.
I've made these comments to you previously. I mean, a 2-day event, SAG will want a lot of information from you, a huge amount of information, and they are not going to be happy with being told that 6 weeks before. So, if it were me, I'd be putting your date back to give yourself more time, because they're not going to be happy. For 2 days, you know, it's bad enough when we organise a large-scale event for 1 day.
Yeah.
We have to jump through no end of hoops. So if you're trying to do a 2-day event at such short notice, they ain't going to be playing ball with
So
you.
would you propose we move down to 1 day because of the short notice?
I would propose you move the date, personally. That would be my proposal, but, you know.
Can we just check dates?
Right, so you could have the 1st and 2nd of August, or 8th and 9th of August. I can't do the 2 weekends, 15th and the 22nd, 29th or 30th, which is actually bank holiday weekend.
That sounds good. 29th and 30th gives a whole month extra.
Beauty Fest will take place the 29th.
Beauty Fest, kind of the 29th. Isabel?
Just on that point, what, in Carts Park?
Sam?
Holwich is full of events through the summer and local area, and there's a lot of businesses that do events and whatever else. I think the public have said in the past that we're not an events company, but I actually quite like some events. But I think it's an oversaturated market that I think you're just trying to shoehorn something in, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I would assume that your Halloween events and your Christmas event could be spectacular if you put all your efforts into them, rather than trying to say to the town, here's something that we've done, and stick 3 or 4 grand in there, because bands have gone up a huge amount recently, and they cost anywhere between 500 and £1,000, if not more, for a decent band. I mean, you're looking, some of these event bands, 2-3 grand. Well, that's your event budget gone on a couple of bands. And do Holbeach really need a dodgy event that's going to cost 5 grand, or should we just hold off with a really, really good Halloween and Christmas event that other people, the whole council will probably get behind? That's my suggestion.
I'll second it.
Certainly the event in Leatherfields last summer.
I love that. I went to that. That was a very good event. Small event.
Yes,
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Cheap to run.
Yep.
And there were hundreds of people.
Loads of families there.
And the feedback was brilliant.
Yeah, we had a good time.
So definitely that. And the Halloween event similarly was
Yeah,
brilliant.
I just think this summer one,
Brilliant.
Councillor, is the one that I think you're trying to shoehorn something in that doesn't need to be done.
Paul?
Can I make no comment about the event or not, but can I just point out, so you know that I agree with me here, that I have run events of this scale and it is incredibly hard work. There's an awful lot of work involved. It's going to take an enormous amount of time. You've got to get the volunteers, which I don't, that's going to be difficult. You let yourself in for a big job here in time to do this event. That's the only comment.
Especially with the AGAR coming up.
I think the sense in the room is we've run out of time to try and do this successfully in time.
A successful attempt in time.
Yeah,
because that's what we should be doing, is having really good events,
okay.
rather than...
Start planning now for next year.
Yeah, that's what you should do, is plan for next year.
Okay,
Plan it for next.
anyone got anything that suggests otherwise? No?
So who proposed plan it for next year? You, Sam?
I'll propose it that we don't do it this year,
Just
and
defer.
do things on a better...
Seconder?
Seconder for defer. Yeah, all in for defer that? So just to take experience in mind.
Yeah.
Experience.
Can I have it recorded as I abstain, please? On
Oh,
this?
you want recorded, so.
What's the other one there?
Netherfield,
Sorry.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Netherfield's Family Fun Day.
Netherfield's Family Fun Day. Who was mentioned? Netherfield's Family Fun Day? Any comments on that? Anything? Tim?
Did you organise that one, Tim?
Yes, it was a very successful event.
It was.
The council really went well. And it was very well received. People didn't have any money, because it was free.
It was free to get in. I think the spend, the outlay was, we got 50 quid back from the ice cream man, and so it cost £200. And so many people said, you know, we've no money, we can come along and enjoy it, and the kids enjoyed it. So,
That sounds proactive. So have you
And
got
all we
any?
spent was, most of the spend was put on assets, you know, it's kind of thing we've got, still got now, so it was a really good one.
Have we got the requirements there, the date, times, closures required, etc.?
What we mostly got to make sure is we've got the inflatable to do it. The fundamental was the inflatable salt course, that's what was the big draw of it.
It's got to be August, isn't it? Because then the kids are off.
and also to let the local residents know that,
Yes.
Early August it needs to be, definitely
Early August.
yeah.
Oh, so that would, we would do nothing in July, so that sort of make up for it, wouldn't it, a bit, in some
Yeah.
way? Yeah?
Sophie's.
Sophie?
So can I suggest for item 3 and 4, you basically do the same event? You're basically looking at potentially going one in Netherfield and then out in the villages. So ultimately, yeah, because it says Village Fund Day, but you've got the equipment to use. You then need volunteers and people on there to man it, but then ultimately for your other entertainment, you are basically doing inflatables and bouncy castles. So you're really dictated to by when they can do. So don't necessarily say you're going to agree a date at this meeting, but just say you're going to do one in summer in Netherfield and then you're going to try and do one in X place or wherever in another month or something like that, and try and go out a bit further, but just use the same format.
Due to the timeline that Tim mentioned, though, that's a month away.
Yeah, but Netherfield Fund Day, all you've got to do, you don't need any temporary events notice or anything like that, because you're not going to be doing any alcohol. If you're playing music on your own land, because we're a local authority, that's fine. You then just need to book in a bouncy castle and a date and notify people.
And
It's
you're
a very
right
simple
under the
bit.
road, affecting the highway.
You can do, but I mean,
No, we've done it every year,
Okay.
yeah.
you wouldn't necessarily need to do that for that scale of event, but you can do that just to tick the boxes, but yes.
So, I haven't seen any objections to that. Sam?
My only thing is it says if we were lumping 3 and 4 together, which makes the most sense really, because it is a fun day, and it was a very fun day. I'm not quite sure I like the idea of a village fun day, because we have several villages in the whole beach, and how and whom is going to pick which village is the most important. So therefore there has to be.
If I may come in with that,
Yep.
the thing is, you can't do all the villages, it wouldn't be right to them anyway. You do one this year, and next year you take it to another one, and another one, and another one. That's the way to do it.
But then Holbeach St Matthews could end up waiting 7 years to get a bouncy castle put in there. That doesn't seem particularly fair. Not Holbeach St Matthews, because there's not a huge, but there has to be done something where.
I think you're living about 4 anyway, aren't you? You know, St John.
Well, St John's would want one. St Mark's would definitely want one, I would have thought. Herne would probably like one. There's 3 off the top of my head.
Can I,
But slightly bigger ones.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, you need to take into account the population of the village.
Yeah, so St Matthews is very, very small,
There
but
are
that would
probably maybe 10 families in Aldwych St John's with young children, and there's nowhere to park.
But their village fete day goes down really well, because I went to that a couple of years
It's in
ago.
the church and the village hall, you can't. there's no
I've got to
place.
move on to a vote soon, but
I was just going to say more or less what Peter's saying. We had an event in Holwick St John's,
Yes.
and it was very successful. I don't think they'd be too upset if we didn't run one from the parish in there.
Sam,
Would this not be one of those things where you actually ask the people if they want it? Because I think we're trying to, I live in Holbeach, I don't live in St John's. Not to be rude, but you don't have young children. And sometimes the people who live in the villages are the ones that actually need it the most. Because we get quite a lot in Holbeach compared to other places, we get nothing, but we get quite a lot, really. But in St John's and St Mark's, I mean, I know people who live there and they don't get a lot out there. So therefore, surely we should be backing them up. So in the very least that we could do is ask if they would like an event instead of dictating.
So
That's just like
there was. So can I just understand this? You had a Netherfields Fun Day and a Village Fun Day, and the proposal was to amalgamate them.
Well, so basically consider item 3 and 4 at the same time, because it's a fun day, isn't it? So
Right,
my
okay,
proposal,
still separate events. But
yeah, my proposal will be hold one fun day in Netherfield at some point during the summer holidays,
yeah.
making sure we don't clash with other events, and then offer them out to the key main villages around and see
Okay.
which ones you get a response back from.
The Netherfield one, if it's a Sunday, it could be the 2nd, the 9th, or the 30th.
Do we have to propose a...
I would suggest you see when the people to provide the bouncy castles are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So we can agree the event and sort out the dates.
Yeah.
So, and we do need a proposal within 3 minutes.
I just wanted to ask, it wasn't on a weekend, was it, last year?
Yes.
Yes.
It was a Sunday, was it?
Yeah.
It's just obviously in the summer holiday, it doesn't necessarily have to be on a weekend.
Okay. So we can sort out the dates at a later date, but we can go to the proposal. Do you want
Okay, I'll second that proposal.
to second that proposal? We're all in for that proposal? Thank you. Right, sorry, the reason I was worried about the time is because I think we've got a call by, it's 2 hours, isn't it? We've got to
Yeah,
stop
so-
clock on the 2 hours.
Well, no,
You've
you've
got
got...
9 o'clock and ask if you can go up.
Yeah. So as the time is 2 minutes away, I propose that we extend the meeting. Second that, all in for that?
Can I have a 5-minute break?
Yeah, we can have a 5-minute break, but we extend, we're going to say to the carry on past 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, all in for that? Thank you. So we'll have a 5-minute break, yeah?
Can I just wanted to say something on the event side. I noticed that you didn't use St John's a couple of times, but they're not. The people you used are only qualified for first aid at work. They're not fully, so I think St John's is something you need to go for,
Yeah.
events and not.
And they do get booked up quite quickly.
Very quick.
They get booked up very quickly.
Yes.
Are we on that
Thank you.
time out?
Yeah.
I'm going to stop the recording, we have a 5-minute break.